Okay, here we are with part 2. I think I was in the ICU, I think 5 days. I could be totally wrong. I don't know. Dwayne knows. And then they moved me to intermediate care, and I had really good nurses and everything. And on that Friday, they took out my port, which I'm glad, I've been wanting it out. But I was hoping to be well and just make the appointment and get it taken out. But this made the decisions for us. And they were going to do it put me under general anesthesia. And I said no, I didn't want to do that. Last time I had general anesthesia, within 3 days, I was in pulmonary failure. And the anesthesiologist agreed that we would try a different route, and he promised me he would get me completely sedated and unconscious, basically the same as the general anesthesia, but, not being intubated and all that stuff, and put me at risk for pneumonia. And it went well. They got it out of there, and it's healing nicely. And it's tender still. I guess it's been about 12 days. But I'm glad that it's gone. The bacteria that was identified was a rare bacteria, and it was only a bacteria that you could get through a hospital setting. So we believe that I got it the week prior when I was in Chicago for the bone marrow biopsy. At that time, they accessed my port, and they also accessed it to do the high-dose IV steroids. And so it was accessed 3 or 4 times while we were in Chicago. And so that's when I got infected. Because, everything was fine that whole week. We flew home on Saturday, and then Sunday night is when everything went wrong, and I started getting getting chills, which isn't uncommon to me, but then they started getting really more severe, and we took my temperature, and it was 102, and my stem cell protocol, if my temperature goes above 100 degrees, 0.4, I'm supposed to go to the ER. And so then, it's just like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and blah, blah, blah. And then finally, at one point, Dwayne just started packing my bag and said, let's go. And initially, we went to just a small hospital that is near, and it's quiet, and we knew that there wasn't going to be a lot of people there. And we went there because, I was neutropenic, and so, we're watching out not to make me even more sick. And they took cultures, gave me a shot of Rocephin, an antibiotic, and they sent us home, which nobody can believe. I mean, between all my doctors, they can't believe that hospital sent me home. But it was probably the best thing that could have happened, because the next morning my home health care nurse called and said she was going to come and do my blood draw, and I said, I don't need a blood draw. We just got back from the ER, and stuff has been done, but can you please come by and just do a regular nurse's visit, because I really don't feel well. And when she got here, I could barely make it to the door to answer it. I was walking so wobbly and sideways, and that was with a walker. I couldn't see straight, and my blood pressure was 80/40. She couldn't get it in my left arm at all. And she immediately called my doctors, and they said, get her to the emergency room, and they wanted me to go to this specific hospital where they do stem cell transplants, but they don't do them for autoimmune. But, I'm past the autoimmune because the lupus is gone. It's still gone. I mean, after all the blood testing I've been through this last week. Oh gosh, my arms. Oh, big shade. Ugh. Somebody please hold this camera for me. You guys, this is a lot of work. Okay, and so she called Dwayne. Dwayne come home and got me and took me, and the whole process in the ER and that sepsis nurse started then. The stem cell doctor there, he also, when I initially went in with the rash, the virus, I had already seen him and met him, and he works well with Dr. Burt, my doctor in Chicago, and they did an IVIG treatment on me and also started the Neupogen injections, which are excruciating. But my white blood count is 6.0, so praise God. But in the hospital, they gave me IV pain medication, so they'd give it to me and just almost immediately the pain's under control. But I'm going to have to continue doing this stuff off and on over the next year. And that won't be in the hospital, that'll be at home. And so that will be pain control by pill, which takes time. So I'm not looking forward to that. But I'll talk to you in the next video. I'm going to talk about IVIG treatment and Neupogen injections. Back to the sepsis. They stopped 2 of the antibiotics and left me on Levaquin. That was the antibiotic that treats the specific bacteria that I had. And Levaquin, I like. My body handles it okay. It doesn't make me sick. I was on IV Levaquin the whole time in the hospital, and they sent me home on oral Levaquin. And so, I'm doing fine with it. Was having really bad time in the hospital, not eating. I couldn't. I just really couldn't. I'd take a bite, and my body, my stomach just felt like it shut down and wasn't digesting anything. But now I'm back to where I'm eating better and everything, and we're working on making sure we're trying to do healthy and nutritious as we possibly can, because I'm in the worst shape that I've ever been in. All through, I'm worse than when I went through the stem cell transplant, and you don't understand how hard it is for me to get the energy to sit here and talk. But I want to show everybody what we go through with lupus and what I don't have it anymore, but lupus is still a big part of everything to me, and it always will be. And this is where I'm at in the process of the stem cell. It did everything it was supposed to do. Unfortunately, my body didn't. My body's not agreeing. It's not, that virus that I got, it took away my immune system. And now we're having to fake it. We're having to, make it happen. So I'm almost up on my time on this video, and I'm sure I talked you guys' ears off, and I hope I explained sepsis as well as I can. I've had severe sepsis twice, and it goes bacteremia, septicemia, sepsis, severe sepsis. They're all the same thing, just in that order, and I've had all of them. And at least 2 or 3 times. So, you know, it's a big deal, and it's hard. The mortality rate is extremely high, and I was surprised when I Googled it to learn more to do this video. There's less than 500 cases of severe sepsis reported in the United States per year. I thought it was more common. And you can tell how much steroids I've been on. You can see my extra chin. I hate it, but I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to be alive. This definitely was a God thing, because I'm so worn down. It's human nature to fight for your life, and I just had to lay there and rest and let God do it, which is the way it should be. And it's been a long process. I'm glad to be home now, just to work on getting well. I'll see you guys in the next video.